Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2007 BMW M6. Up front is a 5.0 liter V10, and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this M6 here today because I've driven an M6 here on the channel before. However, that was the SMG automatic. This is in the manual, and I have to say it changes things quite a bit, and I'm excited to share with you what those changes are. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. But let's get back to that 5-liter V10 under the hood. Well, this was used in the M6 and the M5. It's essentially a stretched version of the 4-liter V8 that was found in the M3 of the era. They're very similar. And in this era, German manufacturers hadn't really fallen in love with forced induction quite yet. They really wanted to push the limits of what they could do with big naturally aspirated engines, and this was sort of the peak of that. They never put a bigger engine like a V12 into anything like this, but a V10 was enough grunt and enough push to beat out Mercedes, at least for a little while, and their 5-liter V8s that they were so happily using. So this was essentially a stiff arm to other German automakers, and I think it won quite a bit. Now, this engine does have issues. If you're familiar with this car, you're familiar with the fact that they have rod bearing issues. This particular one has already had the rod bearings fixed, but they are a huge catastrophic issue. They are a wear issue, and so a lot of people do them preemptively before they go bad. There's some modified, more updated rod bearings you can buy that help out with the issue. And so if you are looking to buy one of these, please, please, please ask about the rod bearings, because you don't want to be stuck with that bill. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission, and that is interesting for 2 reasons. First of all, only a couple hundred of these ever got stick shifts. So seeing the M6 in manual, this is not a unicorn, but very close. However, the United States was the only country to get the manual transmission M6. Over in Europe, they only got these with the SMG automatic. So I'm very happy to be a red-blooded American today because I get to row my own gears. Last but not least, of course, the M6 is rear-wheel drive, as God intended. How does it feel to drive the M6? Well, of course, it's very sporty. It sounds great. It drives great. It is a big touring coupe. However, the undeniable part is the sound. It just sounds cataclysmically wonderful. I mean, that is what I want to go to sleep listening to every single night. That is what I want to hear every day to work. That is what I want to hear when I drive it to Cars and Coffee. That is such a brilliant sound. V10s sound the best of any engine, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise. The 6-speed is also tremendous, and it really opens up the possibilities and the overall feeling of this car. It makes this car more jolly. It makes this car more usable. It makes this car just better in every single sense of the word. This is a better automobile with the stick shift. And although the SMG isn't the worst thing in the world, it's not a very good transmission. This is good. This is what you want. This is the best M6, hands down. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges. Off to the left is my speedometer and fuel. Off to the right is the tachometer and oil temperature. On the steering wheel, we do have our volume, phone options, and voice commands. And off to the right, we have our favorite button, skip track, but then M button, which is the performance driving button. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, our headlight switch, and fog light switch, along with our head-up display information. And moving on to the door, we have power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have a very early version of iDrive that is absolute garbage. I would rather have an Atari plugged into the dashboard than use this system. It's awful, it's terrible, it's no good, it's very bad. You don't even get a backup camera. Not only did this just not age well, it wasn't good originally. Now, this is of the era where cars were starting to experiment. Having a screen like this in 2007 was kind of a big deal and very futuristic, just didn't really pan out how BMW was wanting to because they designed an awful system. Down below, we do have 2 climate control vents with the hazard switch and central locking, and then we have our climate controls. We do get dual zone climate, definitely very nice to see here in 2007. It has nice crisp AC, and I like it a lot. Down below, we do get a CD and DVD player. DVD was used for the navigation. However, as you'll notice, there's this big blank space down below. I don't mind it here because this has carbon fiber accents. In the standard 6 series, it doesn't. It's like brushed aluminum, and it looks terrible where it doesn't look as bad here in the M6. Then we do have buttons for our heated seats, MDM, which is basically performance traction control, parking sensors, and another heated seat button for the passenger. We do have our 12-volt outlet and ashtray, and we do have the shifter. Now, the shifter normally would have the M logo on it. However, it was so trash, the owner swapped it out with a non-M shift knob. But overall, the shifter is presentable, looks good, and we do have our suspension settings down below for our performance adjustable suspension. Off to the right, we have a cup holder that fails a big freaking bottle test. Wah, wah, wah. And then we have our selector for the infotainment display. This is awful. I hate it. I want to shoot it with a gun. I want to pack C4 under it and press a button. I hate this. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't move good. None of the cars with this original system that I've driven feel good, and this is the same thing. Then we do have a center console and the seats. The seats are comfortable. They are very, very sporty. However, being a big guy, I actually fit in them okay. I'm not going to complain too much. And they definitely have that extra sportiness that I'm looking for. And they have the M logo embossed into the headrests, which I do like as a nice little touch. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats. So let's go do a back seat review. All right. Getting in the back of the M6. I've been here before. Didn't like it the first time. Hey, guess what? With a stick shift, still don't like it. This back seat is bad. It has it. You could toss your backpack back here. You could toss a child back here. Your own child. Don't toss someone else's child back here. If you got an amputee friend, you know, God bless you first of all, but you could also toss him back here, or her, him or her. Not good. I get speakers though, and a little bit of carbon fiber accenting, so that's nice, but that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the trunk. It's a little bit better back there, at least. Right around the back of the M6. Absolutely love the quad exhaust exit, but we do have a button here on the key fob to open up the trunk. Hey, maybe we... Okay. That's not... All right, not gonna do that again. There we go. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thrown off my game by that alarm. Although the owner did tell me, don't hold the trunk button, it will sound the alarm. And I said, ha 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 ha. Is there egg on my face? Because I feel like there's egg on my face. Anyway, here's the trunk of the M6. Do you really care? Do people care about this stuff? Let me know in the comments if you actually care to see the trunks of these cars. But let's get back to driving it. That's what the whole car's about. God bless America. Now we gotta talk about the looks. And I don't love the M6 looks. I think the front is bad. I think the back is okay. Overall, especially in silver, it's kind of a boring color. You know, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. It is what it is. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving another M6, but this time with the manual transmission? It's great. That's it. That's all you really need to know. The manual transmission is better. It just feels better, it drives better, it lets that V10 do what it was supposed to do, where the standard transmission, driving it at normal or slow speeds, makes me want to pull my teeth out with pliers. This is actually manageable. This actually feels like a performance car. This just drives so well. And I hate to sound like a pop-up ad, but this one simple trick did change everything. It's like when you're thirsty all day and you have a small glass of water, even that little droplet at the bottom sustains you for so much longer. That's how I feel about this. I just worry about the V10s. I was trying to think of how to describe this V10, and what it genuinely feels like is sitting at home and having a brick of dynamite chucked into your bedroom. Now, if you know how to defuse dynamite, there's very little to any risk when that happens. However, if you don't know how to defuse it, you're going to end up with a very bad time. If you know about the rod bearings, you know to preemptively do it, and you have a wallet fat enough that it will allow for you to fix the rod bearings, then go for it. It's not an issue. The car is going to be gone for like a week to 2 weeks, and you're going to have it back, and it's going to be perfectly beautiful. But if it catches you off guard when you're coming back from work, or coming back from school, or just finishing up that long road trip, and it comes out of nowhere, you are in for a very sour day. I love this car, and I'm going to end the video not with me talking, but there is a very fun road here. The leaves are starting to turn, and I'm just going to let you listen to the car. I'm going to shut up. Huge thank you to Tristan. He rocks. Let's drive.